Okay, let's go ahead and talk about you're 4-1 or 3-1 now after this loss. We play our last non-league game this week at Northwest. I tell you what, it's been a while since we played Northwest. Yeah. In fact, I can't remember ever playing out there before.
We were talking the other day. I know it was back in '92 we played out there. I think we played out there since then, but we had 2 scores and off of punt returns, and we were up 14-0. They had a big lightning delay. We ended up winning the game, but I think Jason Drusover and Steve Sumner both had punt returns that game. So it was kind of an interesting game that we were up 14-0 and hadn't run an offensive play. So we got to go out there, and they've got some weapons. They got a big, tall receiver. It's about 6'2", 210, and the quarterback's very poised. He's I think Newt says he's their catcher in baseball. He's a good catcher, and their running back is a junior that can run a little bit. So they've got some weapons, and we're going to have to really be ready to play. And coming off a big emotional game like we had, it's somewhat of a concern. But I think our guys are pretty focused on and want to get back on the right track and so forth. So hopefully we can go out there and play pretty good football.
What kind of field do they have? I think the forecast, at least for right now, says it's supposed to rain.
Yeah, it's grass. So I don't know. Hopefully it's better than Boone County still was. But yeah, white.
It's brutal.
They want to wear white on white, so it'll be might be a little muddy.
It'll be brutal.
We'll see what happens.
I know that just briefly I looked over the roster. Looks like they lost a lot of guys to graduation.
They did. They lost a fair amount. They're playing about half their team are underclassmen, I guess, that are starting, and they got a couple guys going both ways. They're not particularly big or anything like that. They run pretty well, and they play the same defense we do, 3-3 stack, and blitz out of it a fair amount and so forth. Then they're in the spread on offense, and they're probably 60% run, 40% pass, which isn't abnormal for a spread team. So it's pretty conventional of what we're going to face and what we're used to seeing.
I know that they had 2 running backs that they got. I know one's Turner, I believe.
Yeah, Turner's really good.
And he had like 180-something yards in one of his games. And then I believe Cook is the quarterback.
Cook's the quarterback, yeah.
And I think he kicks as well, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But those 2 are probably the ones that stuck out the most that I remember out of those guys.
Right. In fact, when they played last week, Turner had a 70-yard run early in the game. And, because he can get out and go a little bit. So we got to make sure that we're containing him and tackling well.
And I know defensively they've got 2 guys that I know have a little bit of more playing time than others. I think one of them's Cunningham, I believe. It's a linebacker. They got a couple guys that, and again, they're the same thing, is that they got a lot of guys missing, and they got a couple guys that really are going to have to take up the slack for them on defense.
Right. Hopefully we can wear them down a little bit, and as the game goes on, and we can get our running game back in gear.
So key's the game then for you.
We need to be. Yeah, obviously we can't give them anything easy. And give them any confidence. We have to tackle very well. We tried to stress that this week in practice, and then offensively, we'll have to do what we do. Try to run the football, mix in the pass, and take our chances when we can to try to get a score.
Had a brutal non-league schedule. Now it's this will be it, and then you get ready to hit that big league schedule. Then
right, yeah, because then we have Loveland, Milford, Glen Estee, Winton Woods, and Harrison finish out.
Brutal.
And, a lot of those teams are still in the mix. Milford's 4-1 right now, or 3-1, I think, and they play, I can't remember who they're playing Friday, but, Loveland's playing Mount Healthy, and Glen Estee plays Kings Thursday night on TV, and so forth. But Harrison's in the running, and Winton Woods obviously is in the running for a playoff spot yet, and Milford, I think, still is, pretty much, so, and ourselves. So it's going to be a battle like it always is.
Now, this year, the Winton Woods game is the Thursday night game.
Yes, it is. It's a Thursday night on TV.
Is that here or at Winton Woods?
It's at Winton Woods.
Winton Woods.
21st, I think October 21st.
Good. Okay. Let's go ahead and start wrapping things up. Remember, if you can't make it to a game, we do the games live on USBNsports.com. In fact, Dan, how many hits did you have this week?
Well, they said it was 150 unique hits, which is a little bit different, but when the people read the scores and Mike does a blog during the game, we had 1,600 people refreshing it. So we had quite a bit of people watching or listening at some point. A lot of former grads. Bobby Mullenex's daughter Emily was listening at Bowling Green, so that was kind of neat to see. So yeah, it's really neat when we get a lot of those people to listen. So
right.
You know, they put a thread on Yappy and they said, here's a link to the USBN site. So I think that's probably where we got
really helped. Yeah,
that's good.
Yep.
Speaking of alumni, you want to talk about the Alumni Association?
Yeah, we're really, honestly, we need a lot of help. We're trying to get events together, and we didn't really have a too good of a turnout that we had on Friday night, but I think that's a lot. People just need to know a little bit more about it. So anybody out there that would like to help in each class, each decade, whatever you want to call it, to help out for the Alumni Association, get a hold of Jeff, myself, or John Raymond. We're always also looking for interviews because we always put interviews on halftime of former players. So if you're out there listening, get in contact with me. I can just do a quick interview, get it on. I think a lot of people enjoy that too as well. So we really need a lot of people to start trying to get involved in it a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
and we put the first set of footballs we had, the nameplates for former players up on the wall, right outside the weight room where we come out before the game, and they look really good. And we're going to try to get some more guys' names up there, and hopefully you can stop by and see what they look like and order one for yourself. And then also we want to get pictures of all the league champions from all the years past. Coach Stainer's going to get them framed up, and we're going to put those up in the locker room, and to honor those guys and those teams, and so that the current teams can always look and see the tradition that we have and so forth. So that's something else we're trying to get going. And I don't have all those pictures.
Right.
But I know there's people out there that do. And if you have team pictures that was a league championship or a playoff team, things like that, then we'd love to have them and scan them, and we'll get them back to you.
Well, we're going to try to put that picture of the wall on our website, the alumni website. But we really, honestly, the way that this is going to work is if we get a lot of help from people.
Yeah.
That's what we really need. So we need a lot of people to try to help out in any way that they can to get a hold of any one of us to make this thing work.
Absolutely. Okay, let's thank the folks who helped make this broadcast possible, along with the games, obviously. The folks at Anderson Community Television, it's Andy Crozier and Shane and those guys. We appreciate their help. Thanks to John Raymond for everything he does for us, including being the producer for the Redskin Review. Thanks to Denise White for supplying the highlights every week and for being with us up there and supplying the food for us for the home games, things like that. Football moms, obviously. And we just enjoyed bringing the games, and it's fun to watch. And I tell you what, like you said earlier, Coach, this past week, especially the first half, one of the more fun halves I've ever seen in the 20 years I've done this. That was a lot of fun.
It was very exciting. A lot of great plays by both teams.
So we will be bringing the game from Northwest this week. We won't have our stat man, Steve Martin, but we'll have everybody else. And if you can't make it to Northwest, then listen to us on USBNsports.com. So, Coach, good luck this week.
Thanks.
For Dan Albers, Jeff Giese, I'm Greg Ellis. Thanks for joining us on Redskin Review.